I think it's the sounds that you notice here first of all. Everything has its own rhythm and note. It's one of the reasons so many people come here just to listen to sounds you don't hear on the farm anymore.
A lot of what they love is the sounds that come from here. You know, in the old days, you'd hear a tractor running in the field 5 miles away, you know, just growling and barking away as it's doing its work, and we still get that out here.
Out here in Vista at the Antique Gas and Steam Engine Museum, 55 acres of rolling farmland, maybe the best kept secret in San Diego County, where there are hundreds and hundreds of steam and gas engines, tractors, and so many other things. Everywhere the relics of what used to plow and power Southern California.
The first one here is a Vilder coreless refrigeration unit. Used compressed ammonia for cooling, and it was used up in Orange County at the Guasti Winery.
This one here was used to run a sawmill in San Diego, a huge engine that once labored at the Holly Sugar Company in Santa Ana, and another that powered a generator to make electricity on Catalina Island. And then there's the one Jim Kierkees showed us.
This part here is the main generator.
One of the engines installed on Palomar when they built the observatory. The whole thing brought down here, purring just like in the days when it powered the mountain.
Let's go take a look at this engine over here.
They're rebuilding it, a 1942 Atlas Imperial engine from a San Diego boat owned by the Everingham brothers. A truck owned by the Matino family who grew lima beans on what is now a part of Oceanside. A steam engine that would have been hooked up to belts to power all kinds of equipment on the Nelson farm in Escondido. Here's one that was once owned in Oceanside and made an appearance in the 1956 movie Friendly Persuasion, starring Gary Cooper and Dorothy McGuire. These things take us back to a time when so many places that are now freeways, mini malls, housing tracts, and parking lots in San Diego County were once farmland and ranches. Rod Grenewald is the museum's director.
You know, one of the big wheat producing parts of the country was right out here, and you know what you're looking at behind me now is the last patch of wheat in San Diego County. So, you know, agriculture, some of it's still here. It's evolved over the years. It went from wheat to, you know, some orchard crops, and then on to some nuts, and now into flowers.
These are the machines that fed us and kept generations of farmers going. This tractor never got very far from home, spent all its life in Escondido on the Von Segrin farm. Like most of agricultural machines from that time, they didn't have a muffler, and Virgil White says they could make quite a racket.
They were very noisy, and a lot of old farmers, their hearing was shot because they worked around these tractors with no mufflers to speak of. And the gears would grind and sing, and they were very noisy.
But one person's noise is another person's music, and to volunteers like Virgil, it's music of a bygone time. Probably did cause the farmer to lose his hearing, though.
But I could tell people, you have to remember what it replaced. It was probably a team of horses or two.
There were more than a few things up here that were just fun. They let us drive an old 1953 Caterpillar D8 that used to belong to SDG&E. I thought that was pretty trusting of them. But I didn't break it. No, fortunately, museum volunteer Gary Clare was riding along too, just to be sure I didn't flatten any of the scenery. And among the things that are so elegantly quiet when they operate is this.
This is a 3-horse, a West Coast. They were built in San Diego.
You can see the nameplate, built in San Diego a century ago in a factory that was right downtown. You turn the flywheel, and it's like this old machine begins breathing. And then there's this, an old one-cylinder gas engine, probably used as an irrigation pump or something. Now watch how long it can run on just one pop of the cylinder. Here we go, here comes a pop. Okay, so just that one pop, the flywheel keeps turning, the engine is kind of coasting, keeps turning, and you think, well, that's pretty amazing. At some point it's going to run down and stop if there isn't another pop, but it just keeps cycling around and around and around, and just when you think it's going to stop, I think this thing gets pretty good gas mileage. There is, I suppose, an impulse for nostalgia at a place like the Antique Gas and Steam Engine Museum. How could you not feel it everywhere? So many things here seem to have a story of how some volunteers saw to it that it was recovered, lovingly refurbished, rescued from decay. This tractor had served out its life on a farm in Carmel Valley and was pulled out of the dirt where it had been forgotten for 60 years. It speaks to the mission here.
We feel that, mechanical stuff is best preserved in operation. Fully 95% of everything out here will still go work for a living.
And that fact makes this place something even more remarkable about San Diego.
Hi guys, we've got a lot more interesting things to see. Would you like to know when they're available? All you have to do is click on the subscribe button, and then you will know when there are more stories ready to go about San Diego.